started it ain't start at that starting point, because they was mutts too. So at that point, it was just who thought alike. Use your fucking mind. That's it. Start there. Start there. Don't start external in the world. Be of the world, not in it. Don't start in the world. Oh, I need liberation and respiration to start anything. No, start of God first. Create a fucking product and expand. That's very differently than what's already been produced. Then therefore, motherfucker, you ain't got to worry about no whatever you call liberation and respiration. You create the term of what that means just off your actions. So what I'm saying? Right now, we building on our motherfucking spirituality. Sun is Sagittarius, moon in motherfucking Capricorn. And it's goddamn bitch. And we getting ready to get fulfilled because goddamn get prepared for the goddamn full moon once again in the Gemini. But that's going to be in a week and so. But right now, you need to know we're building on our spirituality. You got a flunked out ass goddamn moral system and shit like that. That's not going to fly for this next, day and a half left. You know what I'm saying? Your moral system is not going to help you materialize. It's not going to help you manifest. It's not going to help you put yourself into a situation that you can foundate yourself at least to see something as a potential. You know what I'm saying? So that lets you know you've been planting bad seeds. And anytime the moon is in Capricorn, it creates some detachment between you and your parents. Now, here's the thing. As above, so below. First, it carry out as your mental parents. Your mental parents are your solar plexus and your heart chakra. So that's going to be your sun sign and your moon. When you don't know how to correlate these things right, it would manifest as above, so below, as within, so without. It would manifest as a stargate or a experience, a hell that you walk through, a portal that you walk through, aka that's another term for an experience. And you may end up developing slight issues with your actual parents or individuals who helped raise you. Because a lot of times, other individuals was more your parents other than the ones you came out of the balls and the ass crack of. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes your aunt gave you more things that you use today than them, or your uncle or your elder siblings and things, or some of y'all been raised by foster parents and things. So however that father-motherly energy got filtered through, that would be the concept that if it manifested as above, so below, because you're thinking too much about it and you're washed up under the current, whatever that virtue and principle is, it will filter out as an expression through the actual people in your life that you done manifested to play the character of your father and your mother and things of that nature. And some of y'all got both of those traits that filter through one individual. So some of y'all got a mother that's your father and mother, or a father that's your mother and father, and things of that nature. It's like I am with my daughter and shit like that. I got to kind of make it in her mind. Well, she made it in her own mind that her grandmother is like, but at the same time, I'm her mother and her father. I'm Father Madam. But at the same time, you know what I'm saying? However the case may be, that's how it will filter through. And a lot of times due to the fact of you being born, let's say you was born with a Capricorn moon. Sometimes by default, that's just your natures. So later on in your life, as you get to 3, 6, 9, 12 years old, which is the cardinal points of things from the mutable perspective, that you will start to learn in your life that your living condition is not as situated as your friends or people you are around, like at your school and things of that nature. You will be able to start obsessing things or analyzing things like, damn, when I go to the crib, it ain't the same way how other people go to the crib. Even if you do got both parents in the home, it's always going to be some type of debilitation, restriction, or some type of foundation that's kind of shaky compared to the individuals that you're around. For an example, y'all could all stay in the suburbs and y'all got all rich parents. But let's say you the Capricorn moon. When you go to school, it's going to be something that your parents ain't fulfill emotionally, that other people's parents fulfill for their children emotionally. So you may end up being the bully, or you may end up being the one that's a black sheep, or wanting to stay undetected. So you stay in the back of the classroom, you don't want no attention, and you deal with a whole bunch of internal pressures and things of that nature. That slowly but surely, the older you get, once you turn 18, 19, 21, you're going to start to decipher that as, oh, I developed those traumas based upon I lacked certain emotional connection that I had with my parents, due to the fact of, yeah, they may have had the material support, but when it comes to the maternal, they wasn't there because they time had to go to that job for me to actually be in the suburbs and raised up under these conditions in the first place. So it doesn't matter how the case may play out. It's always going to be a certain degree if you got Capricorn moon where you have a debilitation between you and your parent energy. Now, for the most part, when we think about the sun and the moon, right, this is how you play it out in the mind first. So the sun play out as your father. It protects your moon, aka this is how you externally put yourself out there, how you want to be seen. Now your moon is what puts you in fight or flight mode. So it's a little closer to your Kundalini Merkaba, that's the same thing. All your chakras together, your Ethernet together. So the moon is the one that's most close to your spirit, because it's the one you built reflection off of for you to know what you did in previous lifetimes to create a new shape and form, but to know that it's taking the same energy. So for the most part, due to the fact of you having certain alignments with your sun and your moon, let's say you got an opposition with your sun and your moon, or a square, right? Within inside of you, it's hard for you to correlate your mother and father energy, nor do you even understand it within this aspect. That's why I'm glad a lot of y'all watching me now, and for future people who watch this after the fact on replay mode. What you're going to be able to understand is you're supposed to look at these things like, even it's certain websites that break down astrology that you would think that they're saying your 4th house, 9th house, or your sun and the moon. And when they make allegories to your mother and father, you would think it actually has something to do with your mother and father. No, it can manifest like that, but it's actually talking about our thoughts and feelings, because astrologers understand that a lot of the same lingo we speak in today's time was the lingo that they spoke 4,000 years ago, because this is how all of our linguistics is even built, off of this metaphorical parable kind of concept to understand as above, so below, to help us with our natures, our desires. Now, regardless of how they changed the words, and over the civilizations, the words that got baggage on it, like, go for prayer, to meditation, to stretching, to magic, to mystical thinking, to sorcery, to just, tapping into the source, and all kind of other circumstances and things of that nature, to the point to have make you think, when you go watch Harry Potter, you don't have a magic wand, and you're not astral traveling and astral projecting. So if you're an atheist or religious person, you might love Harry Potter and Star Wars, but in the very same breath use that as an argument against other individuals as yourself of doing these things. So you'll be astral projection and astral traveling and using your magic wand to explain why these things is not real. And this is what makes you a fool, walking contradiction. You see what I'm saying? Because, your magic wand is your spiritual ability to make someone else aware or pay attention to the things you're paying attention to. So there's a lot of things that we utilize. Now, the shadow government know that energy for themselves. So all they have to do is create things like Adidas, Nike, Osiris and all this other motherfucking shit of Raw, going through the transits and shit like that, and transmute that energy. So in order for you to obtain attention, to make somebody pay attention to what you want them to pay attention to, you got to wear some Jordans. You know what I'm saying? You got to have a chain. You got to look like something that the shadow government have produced and reverse psychology to make us all pay attention to one area, right? With energy sources that we all could tap into. And then they make y'all fight over it being produced in limited forms, just because they make the whole world, teamwork makes the dream work, give it energy. Then for the most part, everybody fight over small forms of energy. And it's all kind of untapped into energies out here that you could be seen as the intellectual property of, that you can start to reproduce, that everybody start copying you. But y'all don't, I need one of y'all females to put some lotion on my hands. Goddamn, I'm ashy. But for the most part, like I said, a lot of times y'all miss that, and then y'all miss y'all ability for y'all to be able to manifest and materialize and actually be seen as something in the world, and actually expand the universe as God wants you to do, and things of that nature. But a lot of y'all don't want to access your own power, so y'all want to be lazy and take monetary gain and take shortcuts, aka access power that already got energy in it. So therefore, you could kind of like be a little lazy and procrastinate and still obtain it based upon doing easy things. Like, you could get on the internet and start hating on individuals and things of that nature, and obtain a lot of energy way before just putting your foot on the ground, using your mind for what it's made for, to gain some intelligence, to gain some type of product that you could become rich like Galileo. But instead of that, you don't want to use your mind for that. You want to be lost in their version of business, entertainment, education, religion, or politics. So you jump on the internet and just regurgitate Christianity or something like that. You get on the internet and just regurgitate somebody's business and force us to get land in a context that we already been outweighed and we already lost that war in. You just get on the internet. You want to put us in the context of, wanting us to vote politics, aka you want to get us to vote for Trump or Biden again and things of that nature. So you're lost between polar shifts and you're unequalized. So you don't know how to be unbiased, and you don't know how to not argue for or against something. You know what I'm saying? You just want to go into tell us different forms of how to get into entertainment and not create our own creative gifts to make the Jews come to us in some way, shape, or form. For we can say what we want to align ourselves with or not, and things of that nature. You just don't want to use none of your creative gifts or talents. You just want to be lazy-minded the way the shadow government raised you. And for the most part, once you pick one of these things, that's your only way that you're going to be picked to have their heaven on this earth in some way, shape, or form, which on the back of their money. And God we trust to go get a trust fund for you and your kids. So, you ain't no better than a motherfucking demon, and you're trying to justify yourself. So, Jesuits gave you a lot of arguments to do so. That don't mean that you're spiritual. So I hate when people utilize religion as an aspect to make themselves seem spiritual. And for the most part, when spirits is out here doing the actual work, we got to suffer by being called demons, because religious person is just another context of a person turning into an angel. An agent. So once you start to express your true individuality, your true spirituality, you're going to have agents around you and tell you, oh, you demonic, you not Jesus-like. Oh, that's an agent. Oh, this is not your way of conducting business in the Jewish kind of way. That's what they really don't know what they're saying. Boom, that's not God. That's Lucifer. Oh, why is you doing things like that? That's not going to be accepted and things of that nature. People going to be scared to even rub shoulders with you or to be a part of your goddamn energy in some way, shape, or form. These are agents. These are individuals that's brought into your life to make you feel docile, like you have to do something for you to feel safe again, for you to look normal, so you don't get opposed or rejected in some way, shape, or form. And that's the whole point. And the more that you can handle rejection and other people can see that you don't fall, that's like a train wreck that don't fall or crash yet, or a roller coaster that don't end yet. Spirits love that. You can only do you won't do nothing else but inspire others. You see what I'm saying in that way? But you ain't strong enough as a spirit to be used as a vessel like that yet. So that's the type of position you got to put yourself in. This is a spiritual war going on out here. And not a man or a woman is safe outside the motherfucking body. Not a man thought, not a feeling is goddamn safe. And motherfucker, they will create all kind of illusions with the same kind of energy to trap your man and woman. And therefore your charismatic gifts, your persona is utilized through the filtering system of their badges, their titles, their most highs, their devils, their demons, their satanists. And therefore you're not able to be utilized for yourself and for God. To expand things to show individuals that's demons that's very wrong. Your tradition and your practices are very wrong. But see, when you lack wisdom and knowledge, you don't even know what you're fighting against. So how you going to tell somebody what's wrong or what's right if you're not even intelligent enough to know what it is about astrology, necromancy, geomancy, right? Before you start hating on these things, how you going to know what's right or wrong and how you going to know what's being used against you? And then once you start to learn these things, you're going to start to see that this is the very same thing that they're utilizing against you. So you can't even fight fire with fire. And then you're using the very same thing that's destroying you to claim that this is what we need for self-salvation just because it's in a different shape or form. Letter, language, literature. It's still the same energy. See what I'm saying? Peep game. Shout out to everybody in the motherfucking chat. Y'all know when I be on my mind, I be gone. I forgot to light an L.